Get Real is made for the kids of Wisconsin by the people at Wisconsin Public Television and the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
Major funding for Get Real is provided by the National Science Foundation, supporting education and research in science, mathematics, and technology. In cooperation with Marshfield Children's, care for kids from birth through adolescence at Marshfield Clinic and St. Joseph's Hospital. The foundation of the Wisconsin Automobile and Truck Dealers, giving a boost to great ideas for Wisconsin. And the Humphrey Foundation.
3, 2, 1.
Get Real.
Get Real.
Real cool.
Yeah!
This is Get Real.
And this is your show.
I'm Asa Derks.
And I'm Shannon Lowe. Get Real travels all over the state bringing you cool stories about Wisconsin kids.
We also visit some wild places.
Today we're at the UW Space Place
And at the Washburn Observatory here in Madison.
We'll also meet some kids who went to space camp and got to do some of the same training real astronauts do.
We'll meet a kid who volunteers his time to help out with the animals at the zoo and check out the moves of one of the best karate kids in the country.
And speaking of good moves, throw in a little rhythm and you're ready for our next story.
It's about a young dancer named Lakia Waters and the Tan-Ko-Thi Dance Troupe in Milwaukee.
My name's Lakia Waters, and I'm an African dancer. My mom had heard about Ko-Thi, and she thought since I like dancing so much, she thought I'd be interested in Ko-Thi. So she brought me down here, and I did a class. And after I did the class, she said, "Are you interested?" And I said, "Yeah." So I've been doing it for about 3 years. Tan means small, and Ko-Thi means go black. Or what I mean by go black means like go seek your culture, go learn more about Tan-Ko-Thi, your history, black people, Africa. The idea of Tan-Ko-Thi is learning about the dances, the songs, the drumming, and what they mean when a drummer is up to you just drumming. It feels like they're talking to me or something, telling me something. You're doing good. Keep going. When you put your hands up, it's just like some power going into your palms, bringing it down and makes you put in your body and just put funk to it. Make you do a lot better. The feeling like you put your hands in the air, reaching down to get something, saying thank you to God. And you're like, thank you. When people look at African dance, they think it's hard when you first see it. But if you really, really try at it and practice, it won't be hard. You enjoy it, and it'll be fun. I practice 3 times a week, 3 times a day for half an hour.
We got a show coming up. Unika, you have to learn the movements to the bow. We're running this all over again, and we're going to try to get it right this time.
When I first started Ko-Thi and I had my first show, I was nervous because I didn't really know what people would do, if they would boo me or clap or what. But I just went out and did it, and I had a cheer. I like to perform. It makes me feel great inside.
Summertime means beaches, baseball, and best of all, hot off the grill, hamburgers.
Hamburger, 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 hot. With an onion in the middle and a pickle on top.
These words came from the creator of the American fast food favorite. Did you know the first hamburger was made right here in Wisconsin? In fact, a Wisconsin town has the nickname Home of the Hamburger. Do you know where this delicious, delectable delight came from? See if you can figure it out. We'll help you out with more clues later in the show.
Since the U.S. space program began, 5 people from Wisconsin have become astronauts. They include Mark Lee from Viroqua, Daniel Brandenstein from Watertown, Leroy Chow from Milwaukee, Curtis Michael from La Crosse, and Deke Slayton from Sparta. They had to go through years of training.
A couple of Wisconsin kids recently got to experience some of what astronauts have to go through. The girls from Hudson went to space camp at Huntsville, Alabama.
The most fascinating thing about being in space would probably be being weightless and being able to look down at the Earth and know that you're in orbit. It'd be really neat, just to kind of look out and see the whole sun and maybe even see the sunset and sunrise over the Earth too. It'd be really pretty.
I want to be an astronaut because I like to do experiments and I like to find new ways to help people and to see if there is life out in the universe that we don't know about.
Space camp is a place where kids can go and learn about what it's like to be an astronaut or to go into space or space-related careers or whatever, and what it's like to participate with other people and work together as a team, and just to learn about what space really is.
Space camp is a place that you go to train like an astronaut, and like there they call you astronauts because you are a real astronaut. You're doing everything that they do.
Some of the stuff that real astronauts do in training is the scuba diving. That's called the underwater astronaut trainer. And that's to simulate weightlessness, and that real astronauts do that. They train for hours under there for specific missions.
This is a pool where we're training. This is our oxygen tank. It weighed about 50 pounds or so, but in the water it weighs nothing.
We went down under the water and we played with a big, heavy 100-pound ball, and you could kind of balance it on your fingertip, which was kind of neat. And you can throw it around, just pick it up and throw it around.
Here Nicole's building a truss structure, and this was a lot harder to build than it was on the surface for our mission, because you kept floating around.
This is, we're doing harness training. That was used to help repair satellites and to help the other people that were in the cargo bay. And it was kind of hard to maneuver, but it was a lot of fun.
It'll be challenging to become an astronaut, but I think I can do it because I have the will to do it, and I wanted to do it since 2nd grade. If you're really interested in science, and if you want to do anything in the science field, like engineer, chemist, botanist, doctor, whatever, you should go to space camp because it really helps you.
The most important thing I learned at space camp was that it's going to take a lot of hard work to be an astronaut, and you really have to know what you're doing and a lot of schooling, and also that I really do want to be an astronaut.
If you'd like more information on U.S. Space Camp, send us a letter. Grab a pencil and a piece of paper so that you're ready when we give you our address later on in the show.
If you'd like to read more about space, check out this book. It's called The Magic School Bus Lost in the Solar System by Joanna Cole. It's a fun story that also has a lot of neat information about our solar system, like what the planets are made out of and how much you would weigh in the different gravity of each planet. The Magic School Bus Lost in the Solar System is part of a whole series of Magic School Bus books, so why don't you check them out?
Get real!
Our next story is a little more earthbound. It's about 11-year-old Eric Erickson who's really making a difference. He's a junior volunteer at the Northeastern Wisconsin Zoo in Suwamico.
I do this every Monday morning from about 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And the thing I like about it, I get out of school to do this.
It's kind of used as a reward for kids who are doing real well in school, you know, give them a little something extra. He does mostly what most of our other volunteers would do, even the older people who would come in, just kind of tag along with the zookeeper, help out with what we need helping out with.
And I do things in the birth center.
It's an educational center where kids can have some hands-on experience with some of the animals and animal artifacts here at the zoo.
Well, this is a red-tailed boa constrictor.
Yeah, her tail isn't real red, but it has a reddish tint to it.
Well, it's more brown on the rest of the body, but when you get to the tail, it's red right around in here. And then this skin belongs to this red-tailed boa constrictor right over here. And when they shed, it's like a little child taking off its socks. It's always inside out. Okay, let's go feed the tortoise now.
Okay, you got that?
This Galapagos tortoise came from the Galapagos Island. Well, they're pretty fortunate to have him because he's so big and rather endangered.
He's a captive bred animal. He was raised in the San Diego Zoo.
And they can live up to about 120 years. Well, he doesn't like his face washed, but when you wash his face, he likes hissing. After you're done, you just put like some baby oil on him.
The shell can get rather dry and brittle if you don't do that, so it helps keep it supple and healthy.
There, now he's shining up again.
Wow!
Animals are really neat to work with.
Have you figured out where in Wisconsin the hamburger was made? Here's a little more information. In 1885, Charles Negreen, better known as Hamburger Charlie, first served his specialty on a bun at the county fair. The hamburger allowed people to walk around the fair while they ate. The Hamburger Hall of Fame is here. It contains the world's largest collection of hamburger artifacts. The town has a festival every year in honor of the hamburger, and the residents make a huge burger. One year it weighed 5,520 pounds. It's even listed in the Guinness Book of World Records. Where do you think you could get a bite of this burger? In a pickle? The answer will catch up to you in a moment.
Get Real presents a movie review.
Looking for a good adventure movie? Well, I'm Dominic, and today we're checking out Walt Disney's The Three Musketeers. In the movie, the Musketeers are the king's special guards in 17th century France. Someone is plotting to kill the king, and it's the Musketeers' job to protect him.
Now,
the action scenes in this movie are great. They really kept my interest. They use different camera angles during sword fights and battles to make the scenes a lot more exciting.
all for one. We have work to do.
All the action scenes in this movie are mixed up with some funny moments. I especially enjoy the character of Porthos, who always had a funny line.
Turn here. Right here? Here! That's it. Next time you drive.
In fact, most of the acting was pretty good. I thought the best performances were by Charlie Sheen as Aramis and Tim Curry as the evil cardinal.
Kill those musketeers.
But to me, one of the best things about this movie was the awesome scenery. The movie was filmed in real castles in Europe, so it looks realistic. This adventure comedy really kept my interest. The costumes, the acting, and the scenery were great. I give The Three Musketeers an 85% Dominic approved.
Thanks for all the great letters you guys have sent us. This week, we're featuring one from Justin Shevchek. Justin is a 5th grader in Kewanee. He writes, if you could pick anyone in the world to be your teacher, who would you pick and why? We went to Bonduel Elementary School to ask 4th and 5th graders their opinions.
If I could have anyone in the world to be my teacher, it would be Martin Luther King Jr. because he fought for black rights. It would be Paul McCartney because he's a famous rock star and I think he sings wonderful songs and he's a nice person. It would be Green Bay Packer Reggie White because he's a good football player and he's a nice guy.
It would be Albert Einstein because he's smart.
If I could pick anyone in the world to be my teacher, I would pick Anne Sullivan because she would never give up on her students.
I would choose Mr. Bucky, my teacher today, because if you don't understand something, he will stop and explain it till you do.
I would choose the author R.L. Stein because he writes great books.
I would pick Benjamin Franklin because he invented many things.
John Wayne because he's a famous cowboy.
And if I could have anyone in the world to be my teacher, I would have Abraham Lincoln because he was honest.
That's what we think! Yeah!
This is the Washburn Observatory at the UW-Madison campus. At night, astronomers can open the big door in the dome and use this powerful telescope to see thousands more stars that they could ever see with their eyes alone.
You can see all kinds of cool things, like nebulas, galaxies, and remnants of supernovas. Twice a month, this observatory is open to the public so that anyone, including you, can come in and have a fantastic view of the stars.
We've been talking an awful lot about seeing. Now we're going to switch to hearing, and a story about some kids in Oshkosh and why they're learning sign language.
Meet Jennifer. She's one of 34 hearing-impaired students at Reed School. This is her friend Erica. They're in the same 5th grade class where an interpreter signs for Jennifer what Erica hears. But to help kids like Jennifer and Erica communicate with each other, the school has classes during lunch hour for kids who want to learn sign language.
It's easy to communicate with the people in here.
Speaking is difficult for Jennifer because she's never heard a human voice. That's why sign language helps her to communicate and make friends.
Jenny and I met because she was in my 2nd grade class with me. I wanted to learn sign language in 2nd grade to help me communicate with Jenny. It helped us communicate a lot better. And we became more closer as I learned sign language.
Learning sign language is just like learning a foreign language. You have to study and practice. But it's worth it because once you can communicate, it's a lot easier to become friends.
We get along,
we sign all the time, and sometimes we just talk. I like the sign language classes because my friends go there and we all learn together. And we learn signs that we use in everyday sentences.
Now remember to use expression. When you're saying something to someone about being cold, go, cold. It's cold outside today.
Sign language helps me talk to my friends about important things. You can talk to Jenny, and you can also talk to your friends that know sign language.
It's
fun to sign. It's very fun.
Imagine what your world would be like if you couldn't hear anything. The reason some people can't hear is because a part of their ear doesn't work quite right.
The parts of your ear are like a delicate chain link. If even one part breaks, the whole thing can stop working.
The part of the ear that we can see is really just the outer ear. Sound waves are caught by the outer ear, then travel through a tunnel and bump into the eardrum. That makes the eardrum shake, and that makes 3 tiny bones in the middle ear shake. The third bone shakes against another membrane, and that starts waves moving through fluid in the inner ear. The waves make small hairs on the special hearing cells bend. When those hairs bend, the hearing cells send out signals along nerves that are connected to the brain. Your brain gets the signals and makes sense out of them.
Wow, that's a lot of different parts and a lot of different things happening.
Yeah, and the reason some people have hearing loss is because at least one of those parts isn't working quite right. There are lots of reasons why that can happen.
I suppose a baby could be born that way.
Sure, or an accident or an infection can cause one of those parts to be damaged.
Those causes are unavoidable, but some hearing loss can be avoided, like the kind that comes from really loud noises. If you'd like to know more about ears and hearing, there's lots of good books.
Ask your librarian to help you find one the next time you're at the library.
Now it's time for a little action. Check out the moves of Justin Margado. Justin's from Green Bay, and he's one of the best karate kids in the country.
Kick it.
1, 2, 3.
I began studying karate when I was about 5.5 years old. My parents really started me up, and I really didn't want to go. But after I got my uniform on, I just wanted to keep on going. Karate teaches you self-discipline, to pay attention in school. It helps you with good control, and it's good self-defense. Kids like to tease me about it because I'm a black belt, and from karate I learned just to ignore them. I like competing in tournaments and winning trophies and learning stuff and teaching other students, just like they taught me, and now I get to teach the new kids. I have 126 trophies all total. This is one of my favorite uniforms. It has my name on the back. This one is my first place at a national tournament. And this is where I won grand champion, and where I won $50. And this is my first trophy. I was 5 at the time. And this one is a first place at the Diamond Nationals. That's where I've always wanted to get a first place at, because it's the biggest tournament all around. Karate gives you a lot of confidence, to believe in yourself. I practice about 5 to 6 hours a week, and I have 4 classes. I think it's really worth it. My first goal was to get my black belt, and I got that. Then my second goal was to be #1 in the nation and to get a national first place, and I've got that. Then my goal right now is to be on a national karate team called the Metro All-Stars. That's a team where you get to go all over the world, and I'm hoping to be on that team. So I'm always just going to try to do my best and win. Nothing good about losing, but, well, there is one thing, trying your best. If you think you tried your best, then you succeed. You did not lose, you won.
Wow! Since we talked to Justin, he reached his next goal and became a member of the #1 national karate team. Way to go, Justin!
The home of the hamburger is a hot topic. If you got Seymour, You're right. Seymour is in Outagamie County in the eastern part of the state. There are other places around the U.S. that also claim to be the burger's birthplace. The biggest contender for this title is Hamburg, New York. It's believed that the Mensch's brothers also created the burger and named it after the Hamburg fair where they were selling them. It's hard to say who's right or wrong in this debate, but as far as Wisconsin is concerned, Seymour cuts the mustard with its title as home of the hamburger.
If you think your town should be on our Where in Wisconsin map, or if you'd like more information on any of the things you see on today's show, send us a letter.
Our address is Get Real, 821 University Avenue, Madison, Wisconsin, 53706. And be sure to include your name, age, and telephone number.
When you write to us, you'll also become a member of the Get Real Kids Club. You'll get our newsletter and other cool stuff.
Well, that's all for today's show, so we're beaming up.
But always remember to
Get Real!
Get real.
Major funding for Get Real is provided by the National Science Foundation, supporting education and research in science, mathematics, and technology. In cooperation with Marshfield Children's, care for kids from birth through adolescence at Marshfield Clinic and St. Joseph's Hospital. The foundation of the Wisconsin Automobile and Truck Dealers, giving a boost to great ideas for Wisconsin. And the Humphrey Foundation.
Get Real is made for the kids of Wisconsin by the people at Wisconsin Public Television and the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
get ready to get real again.
Next time on Get Real. Ever dreamed of being an astronaut? Well, these kids tell us about their adventure to Nassau Space Camp. And do you know what Tonko Fee means? We'll introduce you to a member of this African-American dance troupe. Then our Where in Wisconsin quiz tests your knowledge of the hamburger, plus a whole lot more.